What's up guys, it's Kid Lips. We're here live in downtown LA. And today we're going to talk about something that I don't always talk about, but what you may or may not know is Apliiq started as a clothing line. We were a streetwear brand, much like what a lot of you guys are starting up. And I want to talk about the three things that are kind of important lessons I've learned from starting and ending a streetwear brand. So through this process, it's been an incredible ride, and we've had the opportunity to sell to thousands of customers and really build products that we're really proud of and stand out in the market, and learned a lot about how to do it. And one thing that really stood out when I was thinking about this video was, don't be a slave to the power of retail. Retail is incredibly powerful, and up until the last 10 years, the main way to buy and sell goods was at stores, right? 10, 20 years ago, e-commerce came up and you could actually build a website to sell products. But in our experience, we started out selling, and I started going to stores. When I built a company in my college dorm room, I'd go to the local streetwear shops with my hoodies and be like, yo, what do you think of this? And the first store I went to, they're like, sweet, dope hoodies, we'll buy 3. And they gave me cash on the spot for 3 hoodies, which is like unheard of. Usually, and you guys probably know this, when you go to a store, they'll if they like it, they'll be like, cool, put it on our rack, and if it sells, we'll pay you 30 days later. But usually they're not gonna give you cash for a product up front. So this was an amazing opportunity. Shout outs to Roland from Reload Baggage. Reload makes incredible custom embroidered courier biker bags. So you put my hoodies in the store, really quickly started to grow, and I saw retail as this amazing opportunity. Shortly thereafter, I realized that consignment model was really the norm, and a lot of stores would actually not pay me until my stuff sold. I did that a bit, sold at Bodega in Boston, a couple of streetwear shops around the country, in Oakland, California. Moved to Australia, sold in Melbourne, sold in Sydney, and also built a relationship with Karmaloop. So when I started doing Apliiq and building this brand, Karmaloop became a really important customer for us. And so we started to sell products on their website and grew to be one of the top brands in their Casbah section, which was their underground brand section. While we were doing that, we also spoke to Urban Outfitters. They wanted to do a buy from us. There were a lot of opportunities to work with retailers. Karmaloop was amazing in that they got us in front of millions of eyeballs very quickly, and we started to build a name for ourselves. People started to talk about Apliiq. They knew about us. They'd buy from us. Russell Westbrook, Mike Posner, all these celebs were buying our stuff because they loved us through Karmaloop. It was an amazing exposure tool. What we didn't realize and eventually learned was you don't make as much money as you think you're gonna make. And there's a lot of challenges to working with someone else's customer. You don't necessarily get to build a relationship with them. You kind of have to operate as a representative of their company, of Karmaloop's company. And there's a lot of challenges just being kind of in that system that didn't allow us to really flourish. So our goal was always get customers to come to our website, buy directly from us, customize their own products, which they could only do on our website. Another thing about retail that's really important is when you're establishing a relationship with a retailer, especially a big one, you're essentially getting married to them. It means you need to assume all of the expectations that they've taken on to fulfill the needs of their customer. So if they have special requirements, if they have something go down with their business, that they're having a bad season, whatever might happen, that risk is really on you. And if you're not fulfilling or something goes wrong with your order, you can lose a ton of money in chargebacks, or they'll send the product back to you. You can also, maybe they'll go out of business. Karmaloop went bankrupt, and you might lose a lot of money on the table from that. They'll often have their own terms where they might not pay you for 30, 60, 90 days until you submit your order and send everything in. So it's really important to be conscious of the fact that there's a lot of risk and there can be a lot of reward. But you need to be set up to mitigate that risk and be able to run a business on their terms. And so it kind of gets me to the next challenge of starting a brand, which is being aware of trend. And when we started selling pocket tees on Karmaloop and Urban Outfitters started to make them, it became this trend, and the pocket tee became ubiquitous. You'd see them everywhere, right? Every brand had one. Huff, Staple, all the big streetwear brands, the hundreds. And then also, you'd start to see them in Target, or you see them at kind of generic spots eventually. And so that product quickly became something that went far beyond what we had done. And we realized we couldn't just build a brand. You can't just build a clothing line on one product or one concept. And so for us, we adapted. We made hoodies, we made hats. We started to create different products like single sleeve pieces where just asymmetrical stuff with crazy fabrics on the sleeve. And it was really cool to be kind of chasing those trends and coming up with what the next thing was. But it's also exhausting, and it's really interesting to see how companies will see what you're doing and then modify it slightly and do it themselves or just knock it off completely. And eventually that just became exhausting and wasn't the right fit. So if you are starting a clothing line, you have to be aware, stay on top of trend, know what's coming next, be the first to introduce something, but don't rest, don't get chill on your laurels and be like, oh, all of a sudden we have the pocket tee, we can just chill and make a ton of money, because wait a season or 2 seasons later and that thing's gonna be everywhere and you're gonna have to come up with the next cool trend. And the third thing that I've learned from starting that clothing line is collaboration is king. Every opportunity we had to collaborate just got us in front of new eyeballs instantaneously. So whether it was selling on Karmaloop or working with a influencer or celebrity, getting product on Adam Devine or Yesayer or Mike Posner, working with those guys was amazing. But also working with YouTube influencers. Jacob Keller was amazing because we saw him wearing our product, reached out to him, and he ended up designing his own pieces and making videos talking about our platform to his thousands of viewers on YouTube. And so these opportunities to collaborate are really important and not to be undervalued, especially as you're getting started. So really, from the get-go, Apliiq was all about customization. On our website, we wanted our customers to be able to design their own pieces and to express themselves. And after years of having this clothing line, we realized we wanted to focus our attention more on that opportunity to empower others. We'd learned so much about the business, about manufacturing, about trends, about collaboration, and we wanted to share those lessons and find opportunities to help others start clothing lines, learning from what we'd done. And so we decided to stop Apliiq as a traditional streetwear brand and really help other brands grow and focus our attention on the lessons we've learned on helping others really come into their own and help by hopefully not making the same mistakes, but learning from ours and growing there. So 3 things: don't become a slave to retail. It's valuable, but it also can really bite you in the butt. Karmaloop ended up going bankrupt and we lost some money from that. So these companies come and go. You gotta just be sensitive to how much you can make and how much you can lose there. 2, trend, stay on top of it. Be aware that trends come and go as well, and you really got to be on it. And 3, collaboration is king. Always be collaborating. Those are a few things I've learned. Would love to hear your stories. I know a lot of you guys have your own brands. You've been building your own clothing lines for years. Some of you are, have been in this game forever. You're alumni of the industry. So please put comments, questions, thoughts below. I'd love to hear your stories as well, but those are a few things I've learned from starting and closing clothing lines. Namaste.